The Beacon of Terror. For as long as anyone could remember, the lighthouse had stood sentinel on its rocky perch, its beam of light cutting through the fog and guiding sailors to safety. But there was something about the structure that made people uneasy, something that whispered of darkness and danger. As the centuries passed, rumors began to swirl about the lighthouse, tales of strange happenings and unexplained disappearances. Sailors spoke in hushed tones of a haunting melody that emanated from the tower on stormy nights, a siren's song that lured them to their doom. Despite the warnings, some brave souls still dared to approach the lighthouse, hoping to unravel its secrets. But those who did never returned, their boats found adrift and empty, the crews vanished without a trace. One such adventurer was a young woman named Maria, who had grown up listening to the tales of the lighthouse and dreaming of the day she would unravel its mysteries. She was an experienced sailor, having spent her entire life on the sea, and she was determined to uncover the truth. One stormy night, Maria set out from the nearest port, her small boat pitching and rolling on the churning waves. As she drew closer to the lighthouse, she could hear the haunting melody that had been spoken of in the legends, a mournful tune that seemed to tug at her very soul. Ignoring her fear, Maria guided her boat towards the rocky shore, her heart pounding with excitement and apprehension. As she climbed the winding stairs to the top of the tower, she could feel a presence watching her, a malevolent force that seemed to seep from the very stones. At last, Maria reached the top of the lighthouse, where she found herself confronted by a sight that chilled her blood. The room was empty, save for a single figure standing in the center, its back to her. As Maria approached, the figure turned to face her, revealing itself to be a creature unlike any she had ever seen. Its skin was pale and translucent, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Without a word, the creature extended a hand towards Maria, beckoning her closer. For a moment she hesitated, her mind racing with fear and uncertainty. But then, driven by a curiosity that outweighed her dread, she stepped forward. As soon as she touched the creature's hand, Maria was filled with a sense of unimaginable horror. Memories flooded her mind, memories of all the sailors who had come before her, who had been lured to the lighthouse by its siren song, and then consumed by the creature's insatiable hunger. But even as Maria's mind was consumed by terror, she realized that she had been given a gift, a knowledge that no one else possessed. With this knowledge, she could warn others, could prevent them from meeting the same fate as those who had gone before. And so Maria returned to the world, her body shaken, but her resolve strengthened. She spoke of what she had seen and heard, warning all who would listen of the dangers that lurked in the lighthouse. And though many scoffed at her warnings, some believed, and slowly but surely the legend of the Beacon of Terror began to fade. But even as the memory of the lighthouse faded from people's minds, Maria could never forget the horrors she had witnessed. Every night, she dreamed of the creature's glowing eyes and mournful song, and she knew that she could never truly escape its grasp. Years passed, and Maria grew old, her hair silver and her skin lined with the wrinkles of a life spent at sea. And yet, even as she neared the end of her journey, she knew that her warning would live on, a beacon of hope for those who might one day find themselves drawn towards the ominous tower. For the lighthouse, though it may be forgotten by some, would always be a part of the sea, a symbol of both the dangers and the mysteries that lay hidden beneath the waves. And as long as there were sailors brave enough to venture forth, there would always be tales of the Beacon of Terror and the woman who had dared to face it. That's it for this story. I hope you had as much fun listening to it as I did creating it. If you liked the story and want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new story.